Hey guys, it's GASKA over here, and today I'll be talking about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. A lot of people have actually said a lot of bad things about Star Wars: The Last Jedi, but hmm, I just wanted to express my thoughts about The Last Jedi, or to be more honest, how I would have written Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Because honestly, a lot of people have already been hating on it a lot, so I'm like, you know what, I'll just tell how I would have portrayed the characters than to basically hate on all this. So let's start with the video. This is a new setup. If you think that the setup is different, then yes, it's a new setup. We're trying out different things, and do tell us in the comments if this setup is better or if you like the old setup, or we're trying out new things. That this is a new camera, mm, and all that stuff. So I basically have like a small, like basically I have a script in mind, and I'd like to tell you that script. So basically, Luke Skywalker is like, if you want to keep him in Act 2, then you can keep him in Act 2, but when he will be there, it's not like because he's broken or he's basically just someone who's lost his way. It's because when Kylo Ren basically murders all of his disciples, he just like he's a lost person after that, and then after that he finds love, and he basically uh, Luke Skywalker now has a daughter. So he's basically just cut himself off from the Force to basically just be with his daughter rather than just basically be this the most hopeless person. Like Luke Skywalker is basically someone who symbolizes hope. So mm, in that way, like if you would have put him forth as someone who just wants to be a father rather than anything else, like he's basically failed as an uncle, as a brother, as a teacher. Like he's failed in all these three things, and he's basically someone who's just wants to be a father now, and that I think that would have made a lot more sense than what uh, the Last Jedi like showed. And I think that would have made a more interesting arc, like basically him being protective of his child would be interesting. Like it could be a son or a daughter. I'm just saying a daughter because I think it would have made things more interesting. And Luke's daughter is someone like I'm like basically saying that that she should be a new character instead of this Rose character. Like Rose, according to me, Star Wars 8's basically basic concept should have been something that should have been in episode 9 rather than episode 8. Would have made a lot more sense, and you can have a even bigger like a trilogy after that. Like basically, if Disney wants to make money, they shouldn't have killed Luke Skywalker in episode 8. They should have killed him in like episode 9, 10, or 11. Like that would have made more sense, and just killing him right now. And I would have made things even more interesting by basically sending Finn and Rey to Luke Skywalker, and Luke Skywalker's daughter also trains with these three. And why Luke starts training all these three is because Leia talks to him. That would have made a much better conversation. It would have made a much better impact. Like Luke basically saying that now he just wants to be a family man, and she's like, you cannot just be a family man. You're basically hope and all that. Like Leia would have done all the convincing, and I think that would have been made even a more interesting story. Sorry about that. And Finn would have had like an interesting backstory. Like he would have like I would have given them an even more interesting backstory. Like Ray, I would have given her a backstory of dead friends. Like she was like sold into slavery, right? So if you would have like showed, like if she would have said something about being into slavery and all that kind of thing, and she had like slave friends, like one human, one alien, and a droid. and basically all the three die so that they could be free, and Leia is the only one that's free, and the rest are dead. And so that's why she is now even more protective of her new friends, and since she's like extra protective because of this backstory, and I think that would have made her like an more interesting character. And Luke Skywalker's daughter, I would have made her something like mm, how to say this, not strong with the Force. Like it would have been a lot more interesting if Luke's daughter was not like as strong, exceptionally strong as Rey is in the Force, and it would have made a good, a frenemy kind of a thing. And basically, Rey is jealous of Luke Skywalker's daughter because Luke Skywalker's daughter is someone who is very talented with a lightsaber, or basically fighting. She's like a better combatant than Rey. It would have made things even more interesting. And Luke Skywalker's daughter is basically jealous of Rey's Force abilities, which are like, as we have seen in the Force Awakens, it's immense. Like she can just do it without like pushing her into it. And I would have made like at least 11 months, like from the episode 7 to episode 8, the time that it would have passed is at least 11 months, like at least 11 months, and at the most 30 months. I think that would have been made a little bit more interesting. And I would have Poe Dameron would have basically had all space battles. Like he would be the guy. Like he would basically uh be wasting all these Imperial Star Destroyers. And the last battle you can show is that he basically destroys the Imperial Dreadnought at a huge loss, and basically you can show them like at the end you can show that they're basically like the Rebel Alliance is basically at a back foot rather than the front foot. So how they go at the back foot is because of Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren's character would have had a much more interesting arc if like Snoke berated him in like that would have, that's okay, but after that Kylo Ren starts to delve deep into Anakin Skywalker, and he finds his second lightsaber, which was on Geonosis, like the broken lightsaber in Attack of the Clones. I know I I mentioned the prequels, but it would have been an interesting thing to tie that kind of thing. I mean, like to tie that stuff up, and then if people would have seen like Anakin Skywalker basically like killing Tusken Raiders, like Kylo Ren basically there's this mysticism about kyber crystals, right? It's supposed to be living being, like it's supposed to be living. So basically, Kyber Ren basically sees through the kyber crystal basically Anakin's pain. He basically killing all those Tusken Raiders. That would have been an interesting thing. If you want Kylo Ren to fall to the dark side, that would have been like one of the best ways to do it. Like Snoke basically manipulates him and all that kind of shit. And that force manipulation about with the Rey and Kylo, you could have kept that in this one as well, but over a period of time, that would have been a much interesting thing than just basically happening it all the time. Over a period of time has passed between both of them. It would have made things very interesting. And then the Knights of Ren, yes, the Knights of Ren. Like they tease the Knights of Ren, and Kylo Ren basically goes killing off all the Rebel Alliance leaders, or their basically the ones who fund the Rebel Alliance. So when they are pushed at a back foot at the end of it, it means a lot. Like the final battle could be on board the supremacy in episode 9. Like Star Wars episode 8 should have been basically episode 9, and the setting up should have been like even more interesting. Like, and what else did I miss? Yeah, Phasma. I would have shown Captain Phasma for a little bit more than a minute. Like I would have explained Finn's backstory. If you would have explored their backstories a bit more in this one, then it would have been more interesting. Like, to be honest, nobody will complain about a 3 hours long Star Wars story. Like, if you make the characters more interesting, even if the pacing is slow, they won't complain. Like, but the story fundamentally, if it was really really good, then nobody would have complained at all. Like Finn is supposed to be like this really good stormtrooper, and he really is. How do I say this? He's someone who's compassionate, so that's why they basically send him to the sanitation department. Is because he basically shows compassion, and that would have set up like their epic battle in episode 9. It would have been much more. There would have been more emotional weight to that than the one that was in episode 8, like in 8. And Han and Leia basically have like a big conversation about family and all that kind of thing. That would have been more interesting. I would have introduced Rose in episode 9, or it would have introduced her in episode 8 and set her up as a character who's like finds like legends and all that kind of stuff, and she basically wants to be someone who's like a better version of herself. She wants to be in the resistance because of Luke Skywalker and all that kind of thing. Like you could have set her up in this one. I could have developed a character in episode 9. That would have been a lot better thing to do. And basically, Rey having like dead friends would have made her a more compelling character than any other character. I'm sorry about this whole setup. I don't know. I don't know why I'm apologizing. I'm trying. We are trying to change things up, trying to make this into a better channel, and yeah, we'll try our best. You please do comment and tell us if you like this kind of setup or you like the old setup. Uh, as you can see, we are really trying to change things. We're trying to make this channel into a big success, and since mm, mm, the AdSense thing changed about YouTube, like their ad revenue will be given after like those 4,000 hours of watched footage and all that, 10,000 subs and all that kind of thing. Yeah, they've made these things. They've changed a lot of things, so we are going to put a lot more videos. My friend and I were thinking about putting a player unknowns, battlegrounds, Fantages, and all that kind of thing. If you are interested in that sort of thing, then please do message us accordingly, and we'll put in that kind of videos also. But we are honestly trying to make quality videos, and we we're really like at our wits end right now. Like I said reaction videos will give us views, so that's why my friend went along with it, and basically my friend wanted like a YouTube channel so that he could like basically do a lot of stuff like short sketches, like short comedy sketches and that kind of thing. And I was like he was telling me that yeah, I should write a script like for what Indians do during Valentine's Day and all that kind of thing. And, like that would have been more interesting. The reason why I'm telling you in this video is because we basically took a huge break. We were trying to figure a lot of things out, and this is the first video that comes after like a huge break. So we like honestly we didn't come to a satisfied conclusion. We're basically trying to put now 2 to 3 videos almost every day. So like we honestly don't know if we're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. So please tell us, please comment like if you want a reaction video on something, and if we forgot or if we haven't answered to you, then please comment on the how do I say this, please comment again, like keep hounding us like to react on this and that. As for Blackpink and GOT7, we will be doing those videos shortly. But since I'm someone who watches them and not like someone who like I have to introduce them to someone, so I'll be there, of course, but I have to introduce them to particular people. Like if they happen to be busy, then I don't know. So so we're trying to find we're trying to bring in a lot more friends. Please uh, try and bear with us for this. So yeah, about Star Wars: The Last Jedi, we'll wrap this up. I'll just give a short summary on what every character would have done if I would have written Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Uh, Luke Skywalker would basically have a daughter. Like he would be basically disillusioned with the like the Jedi and all that kind of stuff. So he basically like go off and fall in love with someone and basically have a daughter with them, and he'll be like screw everything else. Like I failed as a father, I failed as a uncle, I failed as a uh, mm, master, like Jedi master. So screw everything else and try to be a father. And Luke Skywalker's daughter will basically be like, I don't have the like I'm not strong with the Force as much as Rey is, but I'll try to be as strong as her with the Force, and I will try and be a better sword master. Like she's the best in terms of sword fighting, like even better than Kylo Ren. I think that would have been made into a much more interesting thing. And Finn is like he's your everyman. Finn is like I just like did this thing from like I basically like went away from the First Order to I came to you so that I could learn a lot more things and learn what the Force is and all that kind of stuff. And Luke Skywalker teaches him like he's the most how do I say this least talented student, and that would have made him a much more compelling character. Uh, hmm, Ray, yes, Ray. Ray will have like a back like we would not know a lot about her parentage, but there will be hints of it. Like the force connection thing was interesting, so that there would be hints, but not concrete evidence about who her parents were. But the more important thing will be that she had those three slave friends who basically killed themselves so that she could be free. Like they died so that she could be free, and it would have given her character a lot more motivation to get stronger and even fall to the dark side to save her own friends. It would make her a more interesting character. Like you can show that and still show her not going to the dark side like Luke Skywalker. It would have made a lot more sense. Sorry about that. Uh, Poe Dameron would have been like in 3 or 4 space battles, and basically he pushes them back. And when he pushes them back, like in the last space battle during the Dreadnought, you can show that all those B-wings get destroyed no matter what. And basically, at the end of the Last Jedi, you can show that the Rebel Alliance is at a back foot. Like his character will have that huge character arc in Episode 9. I think that would have been a more interesting time to explore his character arc. And Chewbacca and Poe will no, not Poe. What's Finn? Yeah, Chewbacca and Finn. They basically don't get along, and you can make a lot of comedy over that. And there will be like comedy with Rey and Luke's daughter. And I think that's pretty much it. Honestly, I don't know a lot about script writing, but I know a little bit about storytelling, so I thought I'd share my thoughts. So please share, comment, and subscribe to us. If you would like for me to say like to tell anything like other movies, if how I would have written them, then please do comment, because I think like it's the little things that matter. Like mm, it's the character motivations. You have to delve into the character. You have to make them like flesh out those characters. It's one of the most important things during storytelling. Like, okay, okay, that's pretty much it. And if you want me to tell all these kinds of things in detail, then please leave a comment. I will like make like a proper script about The Last Jedi. I'll try, at least I'll try. Ciao. Thank you for listening.